Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. The new line in the sand for silver price. Let's explore. For many of us, we wondered where the bottom was for silver. The price kept falling pretty much last year, all of last year, after the silver squeeze movement kind of fizzled away there. But nonetheless, many of us felt like it was a real possibility we could see silver fall below $20 an ounce. It did fall below $22 an ounce for a moment, but then recovered fairly quickly. So we want to know where this price line is being drawn. You know, the line in the sand now seems to be perhaps maybe at $22 an ounce. But we see gold and silver rise in recent times here, especially today. We saw silver rise almost up to $23 an ounce. Referencing an article here from Kitco, Jim Wyckoff says that gold and silver future prices are moderately up in early action Tuesday, supported by positive daily outside markets that include higher crude oil prices, a weaker U.S. dollar index, and a slight drop in U.S. Treasury yields. February gold futures were last up $9.40. But global stock markets were mixed overnight. U.S. stock indexes are pointing towards higher openings when the New York day session trading begins. Traders and investors are more cautious this week, trying to adjust to a marketplace of tighter central bank monetary policies in 2022. And of course, we know that Jerome Powell has made statements, and he will be testifying to a Senate Banking Committee today regarding his nomination for a second term as Fed chair. And then he'll be asked questions about the trajectory of Fed monetary policy and inflation prospects. That questioning could be ongoing, could be happening as I record this video. But nonetheless, gold and silver are popping out of this news and seeing what's happening here. And so what about this line in the sand for silver? You know, silver has disappointed us, and it surprised us as well, too. You know, in 2020, we did see a break right up to $30 an ounce, which are numbers we haven't seen in quite a while. Of course, we know that the spot price is not the only indicator of what the markets are, but it is the main indicator. But we are seeing premiums rise for sure, and the premiums are also being considered whenever you sell your silver as well. But nonetheless, this technical analysis is maybe what helps us to form this new line in the sand, essentially the new bottom, the new floor for silver. The silver futures contract started to pick up in a recent sessions, according to another article from Kitco, and now there has been a new bank of support at $22 an ounce. Looking at recent price action, the market has been making higher highs and higher lows, and that's what you want, higher highs and higher lows, and that is going to solidify that support level. And there's lots of resistance above the current price level, and that is what we see when we look at charts as far as where these things go. And a consolidation, a high of $23.50 is the main high, and the bulls could charge forward to meet that. So downside levels are less in focus, and the main point is the volumes that kicked in at the test of $22 an ounce. A massive spike in volume when the price was tested, and it shows that there is some backing of the precious metal at lower levels. The non-farm payroll numbers that could have been kicking in at that stage, and that's just it. There's a lot of different factors that come into play that essentially can throw off technical analysis predictions as we move forward. But I do believe we are starting to see consolidation. We are starting to see the numbers come way out, and maybe we might be through the lows that we saw last year. Could it be a time where we don't see $20 silver again, and we have that support at $22? $22 itself could be that line in the sand. Right now, as I record this video, silver is trading at $22.89 in the ask price, and it is up. It is up certainly on the day over 1.5%. And gold is up too. All the metals are up except for rhodium. And that makes us wonder is what kind of drops will we see next time. That is going to be, I think, the tell of the tape, is where the drops will be when silver falls again. We know silver is going to fall again in price. And even though it was a fairly big jump today, that line in the sand for silver will be tested in the next couple of drops. If it drops down, will it be to $22.40? Will it be $22.20? Any number above 22, I think, will show more support in that area. And but nonetheless, I think many of us have been making an interesting kind of prediction. And those predictions are silver will never go above this level, this price. In other words, resistance. And then it will never fall below another price, which is support, ceilings and floors. And in this case, a line in the sand. And that's probably more appropriate description, because silver's line in the sand is like, do not cross this line. We're drawing this line in the sand. But we know how sand is. Sand is something that can be washed away. And so it's not really that hard of a line. But nonetheless, I do believe it is at $22 where that line is right now. Where will it be in 2 years from now? Who knows? But nonetheless, I believe essentially that over the course of what we saw since the pandemic, when we saw it go down to literally below $12 an ounce in 2020, that line was probably at $11.50. And some felt like it could get there again. But it's an interesting aspect, interesting thing to talk about and to see where things are to test these levels. And I really do feel that probably we are seeing some of the lower prices, but we don't know what's going to happen when that March rate hike comes. If it indeed does come in March, and more than likely it will, and it'll probably be a quarter, maybe a half a percentage point if they're really bold about it. A lot of these lower prices have been baked in to what the Fed is going to do, so that when it does happen, it may have a menial effect. In other words, we may see it dip down a little bit. That emboldens us to just think that perhaps we won't see silver fall below that. And again, as I mentioned in a prior video, more than likely, these rate hikes are actually going to have the inverse effect, and unintended consequences that gold and silver will go up. So any prices that we see in a negative territory will be minimal at best, and I really do feel that's going to be the case. Of course, I could be wrong, but I think some of the technicals tell us that, and even some of the fundamentals of where the things are moving in the market are telling us that as well. The Omicron variant and how people are reacting to that is another factor that we have to consider. Things are being started to get canceled again, and that means that we may see that work against the metals in one way, as industrial demand could be lessening. But on the other hand, it could cause concern, which means that the prices could climb. We'll see how it plays out. In this pile of silver that you see before you here, there's just a couple of little pieces I put out here, but this piece here I got at my local coin shop. It is a Mexican Casa de Moneda de Mexico, that is a screw press, 1980. This is what's known as the onza. Onza, una onza troy de plata pura, 1 ounce of pure silver. Now, purity is in the eye of the beholder, because this is 925. You see that there, lay 925. So it is not pure silver. Nonetheless, it does contain 1 ounce of pure silver amongst other metals in it. The actual weight of the piece is 33.625 grams, but there's 31.1 grams of pure silver in it. So that's basically what they were saying. This is the precursor to the Libertad, as you know. A beautiful piece indeed. It does not have a denomination. It is simply just a silver, pure silver metal or round made by the Mexican government. All right, so that was a little pickup there made at the LCS. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.